I got in a bit of strife at Port Melbourne, a bit of what would you call it, misplaced loyalty. So we all went out after a pre-season training camp. I was talking to these two girls in a good mood, just having a good time, laughing, flirting, and just trying to pick these two girls up. And I remember in the corner, because at the Flower Hotel in Port Melbourne, there's they've got that sort of, you've got the pub and then the pavement, and they had obviously these doors that opened up, and there was just a rail that separated and so the doors open, the windows open, so there was just a rail separating the pub and the street, and a few people, outside and whatever. And I just remember just in the corner of my eye, just seeing these three guys attacking my mate, and I just sort of went to his assistance, and and it just sort of ended very quickly. Unfortunately for them, they ended up with some pretty serious injuries. Just quite a few broken bones and structural damage and that to their face. And turns out they were off-duty coppers, and they all went to hospital and whatever. And then they, because they were policemen and they couldn't be seen to be out causing trouble, they turned it all around and said that we were the ones starting the trouble, and they got witnesses. They had their wives there and all this sort of stuff, and they set up an information booth, and they went really hard on trying to find out. So it was in the news, and they were saying that it was 20 of us onto 3 of them and all this sort of stuff. It was bullshit, it wasn't that at all. They started it, we finished it, and then quite a lot of us went to court. I had really bad legal advice. My legal advice said, you're a clean skin, you've never been in trouble before, you'll get off, just plead guilty, because even though in a court of law, even though they started it, it doesn't matter. You should have ran in there and stopped it. You should have just gone in there and said, stop, but instead I jumped in and backed up my mate and threw a few punches, and so they said, look, just plead guilty. Worst case scenario, you might get a suspended sentence or community-based order. So we went with that, and then I remember all the other guys, they went to trial, and I went first. I went early, and it took a year. I had to report to I was living in North Victoria with my girlfriend at the time, and we took, I had to report because I was on 22 charges, assault charges, and the main one being a fray, A-F-F-R-A-Y, which is like, it's like it comes from the olden days where people would be causing riots, and they'd shut up the shutters and lock the doors, and people in society would be afraid because it was such a terrible menace that was going on, fucking load of shit. And so I was on all those charges, and then by the time I got to court with plea bargaining and all that sort of stuff, I just was on one count of a fray. And I had my dad, who's a school principal, and an intellectual, probably one of his greatest disappointments. He had doctors and solicitors and lawyers, all that sort of really cool people who I'd known all my life. I'd grown up with them and seen them at all the family gatherings, and they all came and gave me the most amazing character references and all that sort of stuff. And I remember sitting there with my girlfriend and everyone behind me, and I was pretty hungover because we'd have a bit of a party before, just in case. So we had it, and I was sitting there, and he was reading out everything. He goes, I've taken into consideration your good character. I've taken into consideration this and this and this, and all your glowing references and blah blah. And he's just gone, boom. On this occasion, I feel that a custodial sentence is the only appropriate solution. And you've just gone bang with the government going 6 months, remove the prisoner. And then before I could even turn around and say goodbye to my girlfriend and give her a kiss or whatever, I go, what did he say? What did he just say? And off with the handcuffs, off I went. If you get charged with a fray, you're straight away skipping the magistrate's court. You're straight to the county court. It's a serious offence. So anyway, there I was down in the county court cells and going, fuck, 6 months? What's going on? Okay. And my solicitor and barrister came down and they were beside themselves. They're just like, we can't believe it. We're going to appeal. We're going to do this. We just can't go. And I was just going, I can't believe it either. And so now I had 6 hours. 6 hours I waited at the county court cell on my own in the cell, which was a long enough time to contemplate the upcoming 6 months and the fact that I was going to Pentridge, which was my biggest fear from when I got charged to having to report to the North Fitzroy Police Station 3 times a week before I actually got sentenced. It was a harrowing. So I was got to go to jail. So it would always be that black cloud over my head. Like it would be either one day I'd be here, but then the next day I'd be high and I'd be okay. But then I think, jail. I'm thinking about Bubba and sharing the cell with Bubba and fucking that sort of shit, or getting stabbed or getting bashed, or I thought, fuck, if I go to jail and something happens, like if someone rapes me, I'm going to kill them. Like I'm going to end up in jail forever. All these sort of thoughts go through your head and. So I had all these sort of amazing sort of different thoughts go through my head, and then bang, and then here I was confronted with the fact that I was actually going. There was no ifs, buts or maybes. I'm going. I'm heading there that day. So they locked me up and it seemed funny. It must have been a quiet day or something, but I was on my own in the cell all day, and then when they transported me to Pentridge, it was like in one of those prison trucks. So it was just stainless steel seats, like just 2 bench seats in the back of a truck. You can see the drivers, with bar, it's pretty much like TV, and I'm sitting there in the truck with handcuffs on, going, fuck, I'm going to Pentridge. I was a bit apprehensive, and got to Pentridge, got to the big Bluestone College, and went in there, and because in Pentridge you'd be locked up. You get let out at 7 in the morning, and you have breakfast before you get out. You have porridge in your cell, and then lunch is at 10, dinner's at 3, and then you're locked up again. So you're in your cell for 16 hours a day, and you get 8 hours in the yard. So by the time I got there, it was about 7 o'clock. Everyone's all locked up, and there was just these 2 billets, kitchen billets, or late kitchen billets. So a billet is like a term for any job you've got. Like if you work in the laundry or you work in the kitchen, you're a kitchen billet or you're a laundry billet. Well, I think it must be an old pommy English term for a job, I guess. And so there was these 2 guys there, and they got the classic jail tattoos, spider webs and teardrops, and started like just all the homemade jail jobs. And went in there, and the first night was, they said, "Yeah, mate, you've been in jail before, mate?" And I said, "Nah, it's easy, don't worry about it, mate, you'll be alright." And this one guy gave me a book. He goes, "Do you want a book or do you want something to read?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to be awesome, mate." And I said, "Do I take it? I'm not going to owe him a favour. He's going to ask me to suck his cock tomorrow." I didn't know what was going to fucking happen. So I took the book anyway. I said, "Thanks very much, mate." And then ate the meal, and I'll tell you, it was the worst food I've ever eaten in my whole life. Like that first meal was actually, that first night was the worst meal I ever had in jail. At Pentridge, so you got the 3 tiers, and on the, you watch the American jails, they've got all the bars on the cells, so the prisoners in there and they can all see each other and see out and see what's going on. But Pentridge is just all bluestone, so it's all there's only just, when you're in the cell, there's just like a little peephole, and it's got like a thing that's a little metal slide thing that slides up and down and blocks the thing, so you slide and look out, and you can't see fuck all, you can see sort of across, so you can't see anyone. So you're pretty much in a 3 metre by 2 metre. Remember, my shoulders fuck, but I could just almost touch this way, and there'd be a bunk, a stainless steel toilet, a telly, and a kettle, and that's all that's in there, and your cellmate. But so here I am. They take me up to the cell, up to the 3rd tier. Open the door. There's no light on, and there's a big fucking gorilla asleep on the bunk, on the bottom bunk. He's asleep, and then they shut the door behind me, just push me in and shut the door. And I'm fucking going, trying everywhere, trying to find the light switch. There's no light switch. I'm like, fucking, this guy's asleep. He doesn't know I'm in there. He's gone to sleep alone, and all of a sudden I'm in the cell, and he's just still. It was huge. It was a big bear. This big guy, and I thought, fuck, what do I do? I didn't want to wake him up, so I just jumped up on the top bunk, just laying down. I remember being there in the dark, and had the window was about, this by this with 2 bars, and I could see out a bit of moonlight, and I just lying there, just going, and eventually, after a while, fell asleep, and I remember dying for a piss, like, I'm going, fuck, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to get down. So I got down, I sort of misjudged the jump, bang, I went, oh, I made a noise, and fucking the bear wakes up, and, oh, turn on the light, this is like European, or, he couldn't speak fuck all English, and turn on the light, turn on the light. I'm going, fucking, where's the light switch, man? I come from here, just relax, it's okay, you were asleep when I got in, you were asleep. Where's the light switch? And he goes, the bulb, and I couldn't work out what he was talking about, but the fluoro light, if you twist the fluoro light, you can turn the light on and off from inside, but the light switch is on outside, it's on the front. So anyway, got the light on, it's alright mate, how you going? I'm Andy, and we sort of, he's sort of very aggressive at the start, and we got talking, and, broken English, well, he's in broken English, and I don't even know what language, I think it's German or Russian or something like that, and no, he wasn't Russian, I don't know where he was, and he goes, and we ended up talking for ages and ages, and he asked me if I could read. I go, yeah, of course I can read. And he goes, I speak okay, but I can't read. He goes, I've got all these letters for my daughters. Can you read it to me? I haven't had anyone to read them to me. I said, of course, I'll read the letters for you, mate. So I was reading the letters to him, and this big gorilla, like, I swear to God, he was massive, big, like, had his shirt off, and he was just like big tits and a big gut and just like hair. He was a gorilla, I'm reading him these stories, and he's there like crying, like, And I said, oh, because this is D division. So in D division is like the reception division, right? So you can have people there that are on trial, on remand, coming back, from jail to on appeal. People that have just been sentenced and waiting to get classified. So you get. So I was there for 6 weeks at Pentridge, and until you get classified and they suss out whether you're a good prisoner, bad prisoner, or whatever, and then they classify you, and then they send you to a good prison farm or a high security, so they sort of suss you out and then send you to where they think you should go. So he reckons he was on 3 counts of murder. So here I am, fucking just first offence, getting 6 months, and they put me in with a guy who's on 3 charges of murder. Fucking how's this work? You hear so many stories, and there's so many fucking lies, and like you get changed in your cell all the time, and because they change you around all the time, so you can't conspire, So one bloke was just this little, the only way I could describe him, I ended up getting in because I'm a carpenter by trade, so they in one of the classification interviews they asked me what I did, and said, and they said, oh, we've got a carpenter here, so they put me into the maintenance crew, so to go around the whole jail doing maintenance, and I ended up getting teamed up with this other guy in maintenance, and he was he told me he was in there the only way I can describe him is this little cheeky little, Manuel from Fawlty Towers, looked like him, right? But his rough cousin, with little, his hard ass cousin, Manuel's hard ass cousin. He said he was in there for weed, like for growing something real. And I end up years later, after I got out, seeing this guy, so and so has been. This legendary bank robber he was, had shot at police and sort of, so they just, you never know who you're in there for, whether they're innocent, guilty, or, and they've all got amazing stories. In the Pentridge door, there's that peephole, but there's also like a metal tray, a little door that opens into the cell, and that's where they give you your food, right? So at about 6 in the morning, very, very cold porridge. After it comes all the way from the kitchen to get very cold porridge rocks up, and that's the first meal of the day at 6, right? So you eat your porridge, and then there's the first muster. So like a cattle muster. They go around the cattle, the heads. There's 8 musters a day, so they count you 8 times. Well, they used to. This is back in 1994. The first muster. So unbeknownst to me, I'm up in the top bunk, just wanting to sleep and get down, and you got to put both your right hands. And they just go around and they just count all the hands. And then at about 7, the door comes out. The door opens and you just got to go out and stand on the tier, and I don't know what to do, and then they instruct you where to go, and there's probably about 6 different yards, and you go to a different yard each day. So I've walked into this one yard, probably about the size of a netball court with a portable. It was the worst one. That my first day, I was going, oh my God, I've got to spend 8 hours here. This is how I spend my days. But there was a weight machine there, so I went and did some weights, and the first thing that hit me though was I walked out there and everyone's doing, like heaps of blokes are just doing this, just like over, some were doing the whole length of the netball court, other blokes, well netball, size of a netball, the area, the yard, and then other blokes would do it over a metre, and they just run and just walk back and forth for hours. And I thought, like caged animals, like literally like a lion and tiger. Like, what are they doing? And it's a really, really good way to kill time, because you end up getting in the trance. You don't even notice that you're turning around after a while. You just sort of, it's a really good way to kill time. And yeah, like for anyone who hasn't been in jail, and you hear everyone say doing time. That's not doing time. That's what fucking jail is. It's just doing time. It's just getting through the days. You brush your teeth real slow and for ages. You have showers for ages. You do everything you do. You just do, because you've got nothing to do. Like this, you just got to kill time. So doing time, that's how you spend your days. Doing time. First day, I'm in there and I've got me a book from old mate that gave me the book, and I've done my workout, done about an hour's walking back and forth. So I read my book, and I sort of noticed these 3 guys. There's 3 guys. One was a pretty big guy, pretty fit, obviously a lot of weights. There's another little guy, a grunting little pig of a man, really stocky. These 3 guys were just sort of going around bullying. They're just imbecile schoolyard bullies that never grow up. They just go to jail. A lot of them commit crimes late in the summer so that they can go to jail during the winter. So they've got a warm, it's easy. I mean, if you're a fuckwit and you've got no life and you've got no way of supporting yourself and whatever, it's an easy life. You get 3 meals a day, warm bed, you get your laundry done for you, you get to hang out with the boys all day. If you've got no chance of picking up women, and a lot of them go there, they're fucking losers. There's heaps of them just keep going back there. And I remember speaking to one bloke. He goes, he was fucking stressing out about getting out, and he goes, I'm going to have to do something to get myself a brick. And I go, what the fuck's a brick? He goes, a brick, 10 years. 10 years is a brick. So he was planning, as soon as he got out, he goes, yeah, and if I do that, once I get, then I can get somewhere, I can settle right in. I'll go somewhere for a good 8 to 10 years, and I'll be able to just get in. I'll be sweet. And he pleaded with the governor not to let him out, and the governor just no. Of course, he hasn't got the power to do that. So he was stressing about getting out, and he goes, when I get out, I'm going to have to do this, an armberg, or do something serious to get myself a brick. Good on you, mate. There you go. Such good goals you've got in life there, mate. So the 3 guys, I'm sitting there reading the book, and of course I was reading the book and I could see him coming over to me, and I'm going, oh fuck, I was starting to stress. So what's going to happen here? And I went, what am I going to do? And I just in my mind I was thinking, right, I'm going to hit him first and hook him, and wank. I didn't know if I was going to shit myself or what I was going to do. But I was shitting myself. Like I was fucking shitting myself. Going fuck. But just act tough, because I mean everyone said whatever you do, don't let anyone stand over you. Stand up. Just even if you cop a beating, just stand up. Give up a good fight, and if you give a good fight, they're not going to hassle you again, But if you just let them stand over you, they'll just stand over you. Your life will be a misery. So anyway, these three blokes come over, and they just said, one of them grabbed the book, and I was just doing like, and they said, "Oh, what are you in here for, mate?" And I said, I beat up 3 off-duty coppers, which is a very popular thing to say. Everyone goes, "Oh, really? That's awesome." So I was always off on a good note. But one of this little fucking grunting, fat, short little bloke was a horror human being. I ended up sharing a cell with him later on. He goes, "Fucking bullshit, mate. We told you a granny robber." And I'm going, "What do you mean a granny robber? What's a granny robber?" A granny robber is a junkie, right? So they rob grannies. So they'll run along and snatch a granny's handbag to get $50 so they can get a fucking hit. We target granny robber. So it's not a compliment by any stretch of the imagination. And then the big guys go, no, I saw him working out before. He's pretty strong. He's no junkie. And this is my moment of sink or swim, fucking bravado. I said, listen, mate, I don't need you coming here barking up my tree, telling me what I'm in here for. I know, oh, that's right. He said, we got told you were a granny robber. I said, I don't need you coming up here, barking up my tree, telling me what I'm in here for. I suggest you go back to your source and get him over here and we'll sort this out now. And they've gone, righto, we'll go get him, but you're going to have to fight him. I've gone, whatever. And they've gone off. And it felt like fucking forever. It was probably 5 minutes. It felt like about half an hour. Sort of like, when you pick a fight with someone in primary school and you have to wait till after school to fight, and the whole day is spent in turmoil. So I did 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it was, fucking waiting for this guy to come back, this alleged accuser. He's come back. So he didn't come back. So the three of them come back. And they just come back and they said, "You're alright, mate. You didn't shit. Do you want to have lunch with us?" And so it was just a big test, obviously. So I said, yeah, I'll come and have lunch with you. And so I went and had lunch with them. And that was it. I had lunch with them, sat down, told them a bit of a story about, the fight and why I was in there. And they never went near me, again, hardly, until I end up back in the cell. Because they read out cell changes all the time. And, I end up with fucking the pig grunting machine who farted, burped, belched. He was a pig. He was an animal. He was the worst human being I've ever fucking had the mispleasure of meeting, or let alone spending the whole night, 16 hours in a cell with. Because if you're really unhappy with your cellie, because you can be with someone for a while, but if you're not happy, next morning you can put in for a cell change and they'll change it. And a quick one on the cellmates and junkies for that matter. So on Wednesdays is canteen day, right? So canteen day is your saviour if you're a smoker. Canteen provides you with stuff to barter because it's all cigarettes, it's all trade. Cigarettes, you play cards, cigarettes. So I was buying cigarettes, I don't smoke. Buy cigarettes just to play cards to kill time, so you needed something to gamble with. Mars bar, 5 cigarettes. But the other thing is you can buy food to cook. So if you walk in and the meal is just not eatable, you can buy Maggi noodles or other stuff that you can cook up in your cell. But you only get paid $5 a day, whether you're Andy Green or Alan Bond, and you can only get $70 a month put into your account from outside. So you get $25 a week to spend. If you haven't got that $70 coming in a month from your family or your wife or whatever, which a lot of them don't. You get your $5 a day for working, but everything in there costs exactly the same. So you got back then it was $10 for a pack of cigarettes, so $25 doesn't go far. So anyway, it was canteen day one day, and I had my little canteen next to me with a can of Coke, a couple of cans of Coke and a couple of Mars bars and stuff that I was taking back to my cell. And this fucking junkie came sort of waltzing through the joint, and he just, off his face on methadone, he's come down, he's reached down into my, I was sitting there, and he's reached down into my canteen and grabbed the can of Coke. I was going fucking bang, grabbed him by the hands. What are you fucking doing, mate? You can't, that's mine, put it down, fucking drop the can of Coke, it's mine. He goes, it's alright, man, I'll fucking fix you up next canteen. I said, I don't even fucking know you, you're not fucking taking me can, fuck off. He goes, fucking righto, cunt, we'll see about this. I go, oh no. So now I've got to stress, so now I get called to classification again, so I got called to do something or other. And on the way back from there back to the yard, here comes fucking Mario. I call him Mario. Like, he had this curly big sort of fucking mullet, and you can just imagine him on the outside, like back in the 80s or not 90s, and with the Fabergé jeans and the East Coast top. And he goes, oh yeah, and this bloke better watch his ass. I'm gonna kick his. He's gonna. And I said, whatever, mate. Whatever. And I just kept walking. He was all tough with his two mates, and so I'm back in the yard, and he comes back, and they've called out the cell changes. So they've gone Greenall and Arana, whatever his name was, Marinara, whatever his name was, and fucking up jumps fucking Mario. He's fucking Greenall on this, he's fucking Greenall, and I go, yeah, oh no, I can't believe it. I've just looked at the screw. I said, you got to change this. We can't. And he's going, fucking no way. I'm not going to the cell with this fucking prick. If we go in together, only one of us is coming out in the morning, and it's going to be me. So I've just gone up to the screw, come on, mate. You can obviously see there's going to be a problem here. That surely we can change it. He goes, mate, it's just for one night. You'll be right. You can go for a cell change tomorrow morning. I said, mate, you can't put me in a cell with this bloke tonight. It's not going to work. It's clearly not going to work. He's going, mate, there's nothing I can do. No cell changes till the next day. So that was reasonably early in the day. So I had to stress about sharing the cell with old mate, that night. So when it came to lock up, which is only about 3 o'clock after dinner, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm walking to the cell, and thinking, right, as soon as I get in the cell, I'm just gonna go in second. I'm just gonna hit him in the back of the head, and get him on the ground and knock him out, and just in the morning just go, what? He fell, So that he made me walk in first. So I walked in really fast. And he goes, oh look, sorry about today, mate. I'm sorry about today. Anyway, we started talking, and he wasn't. You could tell that somewhere along the line, deep down, like when he was a kid and all that, he was a decent sort of person. And he just, lost his way, and then. But that was my first introduction to drugs in jail. So he's pulled out this silver foil and got a butt out, and he goes, oh, do you want? And I used to, have the old, joint and whatever. And well, here we are, and I thought I was sort of like smoking the peace pipe with this guy. So he goes, do you want to have a smoke with me? And I said, oh yeah, no worries, have a smoke with me. And he's pulled out a pear, like a full pear, and made a bong out of it. Have you ever seen a fruit bong? So you get like you're
talking about an actual pear.
A pear, full pear.
Okay,
a fucking pear with the the stem in it and everything. Yeah. Full pear, not skin, all the skin on it, not hollowed out. It's full, untouched pear, right? And then you get a those blue Bic pens, right? So you take the ink part out of it. So you've just got like the blue bit, and you make one insertion into the pear, and then he just made with the pen bit, he made another little hole at the front of it, and twisted up a bit of silver foil and made like a cone, and point that in there, and put the tobacco and weed in it like a bomb, like in the cone, and then it just filters through the pear and comes out the pen, and it fucking worked a treat. So here we go. Fucking next thing, I'm stoned as a motherfucker in the cell with this fucking lunatic. I'm so stoned. I'm just thinking, oh my god, why did I fucking do that? I was so paranoid. And he's pulled off. He pulled off, like when he walked in, he's been all real nice guy and all that sort of stuff. Lost all his bravado completely. I just went straight to the bottom bunk and didn't say anything. I thought we might have had a bit of a dispute on who was on what bunk, but there was none of that. And then he's pulled his mattress down when it was time for us to have a sleep, because you're watching telly and I was stoned as fuck. And yeah, so he obviously didn't trust me, and I didn't trust him. So all of a sudden, where he's sleeping next to me, and I hardly slept a wink because I thought, there's no way I'm sleeping with this bloke. Yeah, so that was me. That was one of my cellmates. There's so many different types of crazy.
And did you change in the morning or?
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away. Cell change. Yeah, cell change. Yeah. but it's like a raffle though. Like you put in for a cell change, you go, fuck, who am I going to get tonight? Well, there's so many different blokes. Like you'd go in there and you have, a conversation with the guy, and some blokes just would hardly talk at all, and then other blokes just wouldn't stop talking. You didn't want to talk, even if you weren't listening, they'd just talk at you, some guys are really good guys. You'd meet guys that were culpable drivers. They were drink driving and they'd kill the missus. They're just sad sacks. Just living hell. It can't think of anything worse. You get drunk, fall asleep, whatever, you have an accident and you kill your wife, and then you go to jail for whatever time. I met a few of those. That's just, you just feel so sorry for them, because they're just decent human beings that have just made one mistake and lost the person they love the most in their whole world, and killed them. In the yards, you've got different yards. So one of the yards you go to is the recreation yard, and that was cool. So there was 2 basketball courts, footy oval, a weight area, and that was the best yard because there's a lot more space. It was the biggest yard. I think that's the yard where some guy got, and they. Anyway, you play for, and so they organised this game about the second week or something. And there they organised this game of footy, and I said, "They're fucking up. I want to play. I want to let off some steam." And so I got picked in that. They went around picking the size. I got picked on. They had all the boys team, so all the regular guys. They had their team, and then there was a makeshift team of all the other sort of blokes. And so I was bracing myself. I said, this is going to be the toughest game of footy I've ever played in. So I was bracing myself. I'm going to play it hard. I'm going to run. I'm going to play hard. I'm just going to play just play normal. I'm not going to squib it, because I don't. And it was the most pathetic game of footy I've ever played in. Like I would just tackle blokes, on the ground, and other blokes wouldn't tackle people because they were scared of it. Yeah, it was shit. So from Pentridge, I got moved to a place called Langy Calcal, and just for the record, this is before it became a dog. I got there when it first opened. It used to be a boys' home, and then they, much to the community's. You hungry? Are you a big eater?
Yeah. Can be.
Much to the community's dismay, they made the prison. They transferred the boys' home into a prison. Low security prison, so I was classified, low threat. So this was on a big farm, and I got transferred out there, and
where is that?
It's up near Beaufort. It's in Beaufort, right? So up sort of Ballarat way, freezing fucking cold. I thought Linda was cold. So I went up there, and yeah, it was so much better than Pentridge. I couldn't wait to get out of Pentridge. So I went to Langy Calcal, which is a low security jail, and yeah, it was much all heaps of drink drivers, heaps of white collar criminals. Quite a lot of guys that had done long sentences and were, as part of their integration back into society, they sent them to these sort of prison farms. Like I met this one guy, Eris, who was, he'd done 13 years for murder. He's in the mafia. Amazing guy. He was probably only one true man that I ever met in jail. All sorts of different sort of stories, but generally you felt 10 times more comfortable. You felt like you weren't on edge every day. The prison farm was pretty relaxed, and I just sort of made my way, and they had a really good gym there, which I was hoping they had a punching bag and everything, so I was wrapped with that. And you weren't locked up in a cell every night. You were in dormitories, and 4 sort of just like bedrooms really, and had 4 people in a room, and you could play cards in the common area till sort of up to 10 o'clock at night, and it was much more relaxed. But in the gym, I was training heaps in the gym, and the gym was the only place in a jail that you could wear your own clothes. So I was in the gym and I had a Port Melbourne footy jumper on, and this guy, prisoner that worked in the kitchen, came up to me and said, "Oh, you break for Port Melbourne, do you?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." But I play for him as well. And he goes, "Oh, really?" And got talking about footy, and the next morning when he was working in the kitchen, the local milkman, delivering the milk, and he was part of the footy club, and the guy that I spoke to in the gym said, "Oh, there's a guy here that plays for Port Melbourne." Yeah, the coach, the local coach of the senior footy club, was an ex-screw, and he came up to see the governor. And next thing I got this fucking request to go down to the governor's office. I'm walking down there going, "Fuck, what do I do? What have I done wrong?" Couldn't think of anything. I walk in there, and here's this guy I'd never seen before, and the governor. And because the jail had bad community relations, because the community didn't want to have the jail there, the governor was keen to make amends and improve the relationship between the community and the jail. And they just said, "Oh, how do you feel about getting out on the weekends to play footy?" I'm going, "You're fucking shitting me." I said, well, I don't think I said that, but I said, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'd love to get out and play footy." And I said, "Well, this is the local coach. G'day mate, how you going?" And if you're willing to, we could probably organise for you to get out on Saturdays and play for Beaufort. All of a sudden, I got to train. So I got to train. So no one gets out. I was the only prisoner in all of Australia getting out on the weekends to play footy. Right. So and train. So they'd come. The coach would come and pick me up Thursday nights before training. I'd go down and train. The first night was a classic. So I was the first guy to have ever done it. First night was a classic. I went to training, and no one would talk to me or anything. There was apparently one of the footballers was a copper, and the coach said, "Oh, do all that with him." And I was talking, and I was just a normal bloke, it wasn't like, but they thought I was like Charles Manson, this, and because this coach was an ex-screw, he volunteered and was accepted as my guardian, so I didn't have to have an escort. So I'd rock up to him the training. I was running with this guy, and the whole jail community. The whole Beaufort. They sort of go, "Oh, I've got this guy from jail getting out on the weekend and play for us." And I was like training, running, weights, boxing, just fit, no drinking, no, just fit. And I just had, and I was coming from playing at Port Melbourne to a country league, so a massive drop in standards. So it was, I was playing good footy. And the best things on Saturday, because the coach was also the reserve. The senior coach was assistant coach of the reserves as well. So he'd have to pick me up. And country footy, you're driving, here, there, and everywhere to get to the games. So sometimes I was getting picked up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't get back till 8 o'clock at night. So I'd have a full day of being out of the jail. And my girlfriend that was driving from Melbourne up to the country over, she'd come, and we'd have no guardian. So I'd be there before the start of the seconds. I'd be there an hour before so the seconds are getting ready, and I'll be there watching them, and she'd rock up early, and we'd go down the bush, and I'll be having sex before the game. I'd go into the change rooms before the game and pull my pants down and show me dirty knees, so the players would go, "Get fucked, you in jail, you're getting more sex than us, you bastards," So that, and then once I started playing footy for those blokes, and playing good footy as you do, it seems to be in any football culture. If you're a good player, you're accepted, and everyone loves you because you're helping them win games. So just all of a sudden we became a sort of like celebrity at the Beaufort Football Club, and Mum and Dad were coming up every weekend and watching. They got right into the whole culture. They were staying up there, and they got invited to the ball and the presentation night, and so we were all sort of embraced pretty well. And I remember Mum saying that she was behind the goals, and this little kid came up to her and said, "Did your son kill a copper?" She's going, "Oh no, son. I think he would have got a fair bit more than 6 months if he had killed a copper." So that was really funny. But then I'd have to. It was good and bad. So after the game, we go back to the jail. Full strip search, piss test, all that sort of stuff, because they didn't want me having a beer or doing anything else. So you'd have to go through that, and then it was really good. I thought there'd be a lot of jealousy amongst the other prisoners, but with the other prisoners, it's sort of like anything that you can get over the screws or anything that you can get away with is a win for everybody. Sort of like not, "Oh fuck him, he's getting to do that," but because I was getting out. And so we had sort of like a group of about 8 or 10 that we played cards, red ace, every night. And I'd come in after the game, and they'd all say, "Did you win?" I'd say, "Yeah," and they'd go, "Yeah, high fives." "Did you get best on ground?" Because both it were any award money that I got, they were keeping for me, and they kept for me, so that when I got out, I'd have it, which was awesome, because I went straight to Surfers Paradise for 7 days with my girlfriend. So after being in jail with fucking burping, farting, belching, snoring, fucking dirty fucking blokes, sharing a cell with them every day, I woke up the day after I got out. We flew straight to the Gold Coast. I woke up the next morning expecting to be in jail still, and I woke up, I was in a high-rise apartment in the Service Paradise looking out at sun and sound next to this fucking beautiful girl, and yeah, it was a dream come true.